Yo, what's up, everybody? Trader Mayne here, back with a quick update. It's the weekend, Saturday. I know I'm scheduled for my usual video on Sunday, but wanted to just send out a quick update here, specifically covering some altcoins and something that I need to improve on in my trading. As I've traded for many years now, especially in crypto, as my size has increased in terms of the size of positions that I take, not just the size of my neck, but that too. I've mainly focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're the most liquid. They're consistent, easy for me to read. And when they're trending, they're great. But one thing that I definitely don't maximize on is altcoins. It's something I need to do better, because as I've said previously in previous videos and tweets, is altcoins often give you that kind of higher beta play, just meaning more volatile. And right now, many of them are trending a whole lot better than Bitcoin and Ethereum are. I mean, you look at Bitcoin here. We're in this kind of range, right? Maybe this is a triangle, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, we're going sideways, right? We're in a range. This is choppy. This is hard to trade. Unless you're longing it down here and closing it up here, you're probably getting chopped up somewhere in the middle. I do think that this stuff all breaks up eventually, but this and Ethereum as well have been more difficult to trade than something like AVE, just very clearly in an uptrend. GERT, which was ranging, looks to be breaking out. Curve, my God, clearly in an uptrend. Just buy the dip, move the fuck on. So this is something I need to do better, right? Every weekend we've seen the same thing. We've seen altcoins have some fun, BTC volatility kind of dries up. And every weekend, what I tend to do is just long Ethereum or Bitcoin, and then just look at all these altcoins going 10, 15, 20% and get mad at myself. So definitely something you want to pay attention to are some of these alts. Obviously, as usual, why is Curve doing so well versus USD? Well, it's because it's also doing very well versus BTC, right? This is something I always talk about. If the BTC pair is in an uptrend, right, you can expect the USD pair to do well, the USD pair to really fly and outperform. And you see that across the board, right? You see GERT here starting to break out. Well, that's because the BTC pair looks good. You see Sushi, doing really well here, clearly in an uptrend. Well, what does the Sushi BTC pair look like? It's also in an uptrend. So I keep getting caught, longing Bitcoin, longing Ethereum, missing out on these. So these are all mostly DeFi coins, not all of them. But those seem to be the movers that are, the ones that you want to be paying attention to. And it seems like every weekend they're getting a chance to run. And I think that's going to continue until Bitcoin decisively breaks out one way or another. That being said, alts can run with Bitcoin. Generally, what we've been seeing is alts running on BTC kind of lack of volatility or weakness. But what's really fun and when shit gets really crazy is when Bitcoin is uptrending and alts are uptrending as well. So Bitcoin is in an uptrend, but the alt BTC pair is still in an uptrend because those alts are trending so strongly that they're even outperforming Bitcoin. So I think we're getting close to that point. I think ETH has been obviously outperforming Bitcoin this month. Like if you just look at ETH on the USD pair, for the month of January, we're up 100%. Whereas Bitcoin, we're up 50%. So it's outperforming at about a 2-to-1. And I do expect that to continue. So I do think that this is going to break up. Very rarely do we see triple tops hold, in crypto. This is like the inverse of, your kind of descending triangle, which is generally bearish, right? The bouncy ball. Well, this is the inverse of the bouncy ball. This is the reverse bouncy ball. the rejections from resistance are getting weaker. So could this have one more breakdown, right, or move down? Could this break down and then go up? Absolutely. But I do think eventually, sooner than later, this shit is going to break up, and it's going to break up in a big way. Not just because the USD chart looks good, right? We're oscillating here. Here's kind of your pivot, and eventually we're gonna fucking just blow the roof off of this thing, right? There's your compounding entry, I guess you could say. Once we're through there, you long this to 1600, and I'm long already. I longed here. I longed more here. I'm long more here. I'm quite long ETH right now. But this is, what's really exciting about this. I know there's a ton of fundamental shit that you could bring as well, right? Like ETH is the on-ramp for DeFi. They've got the CME futures product launching on February 8th. What happened with Bitcoin is it rallied really hard into that date. Blah, 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 Wall Street bets, maybe they want to pump ETH. I don't fucking know. But if you just look at the chart itself, this is the chart that should have you the most excited, right? This is the FBTC chart that we've been tracking for a while. And as you can see here, right, we bottomed into that monthly OB. Okay. We put in the low right at the EQ, held the EQ. Okay. We also had a very nice fib retracement right into the OTE. Boom, right? So a lot of stuff lining up for this head being the bottom. And now what we're seeing is multi-year resistance, flipping into support. So if you want to do this as kind of like a range play, right? What you have here is this kind of, you could use this as your range here. You could use this as your range. You could argue this is your range. It doesn't really matter to me. The bottom line is the top one. The bottom line is the top line is the one that matters. So, if you want this to be your range, we deviate below, back into the range. There's your long, right? Fake out, back into the range, back into the range. Or if you want this to be your whatever, I don't care. What matters is this line right fucking here. So this is 2018 December, right? Rejection. 2 months later, rejection. 2 years later, rejection, right? So 3 taps at this level. Clearly it's a key level, as you can see from over here. If I had a chart that had more history, I'm very confident that there's another interaction somewhere over here on the way up. So 3 key rejections. We're now finally breaking through that level. Very clean back test, and we're starting to push up, right? So to me, this is the most bullish thing about ETH. The BTC, the fact that this chart looks good is largely in part due to Bitcoin's strength, right? So Bitcoin going up will generally drag ETH/USD up, but the fact that ETH/USD is now outperformed Bitcoin at a 2-to-1 in the month of January, well, you're looking at it. It's right here, right? This is why it's outperforming. And then if you couple that with what I just explained to you here about why I think this chart is looking super fucking bullish in terms of this retest, and then obviously the SR flip that I talked about, right here, I think this thing's getting ready for liftoff. And if we zoom in right at that key SR level, we have a nice 3-day block here. Okay, 3-day OB right here. We've broken through, we've retested, and as long as this holds, I'm loving the way that this 3-day candle has, kind of set up, but I want to see it close with the wick like this. What I don't want to see is price, kind of dribble back down into here. Because if we do come back down into here, I think we're going to trade down into this order block here. Not the end of the world, but if we do trade down back below here, right, into something like this, I'm expecting ETH/USD to probably trade back down, below some of these lows. Right, so the breakout play is going to be dependent on ETH/BTC holding this SR flip here. And if that's the case, I think the month of February, which starts on Monday, is going to be super fucking bullish for Ethereum, which is going to then fold into super fucking bullish for other mid-cap alts, DeFi alts, you name it. The money flow is going to be, trickling down, whatever you want to say. And I think it's going to be awesome. So, these kind of two boxes, this line, okay, and this box is the reason why I'm super fucking bullish on Ethereum. No FA, no fucking CM, none of that shit matters to me. It's just these two lines, this one line, and this box is kind of what's got me super excited. So as long as we can hold this SR flip, I think things get real spicy. And I think we trade up into here relatively quickly. Similar to how this is, kind of back-to-back green candles, right? A little bit of downtime, back-to-back green candles. I want to see a similar reaction. I don't want to see this, right? Notice here, few candles here, boom. Same shit. Couple candles here, and then boom, I want to see a big reaction. So that's what I'm banking on. And I think if USD or if FBTC can trade from here up into here, right? That's going to be the catalyst that the USD pair needs to finally break out and, make the path to, 2K, right? If you have a 30% move on FBTC, a 30+% move on the USD pair is going to take us pretty darn close to 2K. So, quickie update for you guys. I'm long right now. If this shit breaks down, I'm going to be cheesed, but honestly, I'm going to long it again, right? Like if this breaks down, I'll cut my position and I'm looking to relong. Like I don't care. This thing is going to 2K soon. This chart is bullish. So to me, the smart thing to do is to be hunting longs. Obviously, I wish I would have longed fucking curve. Every weekend, I tell myself, since 70 cents, I've been watching this since it was at like 70 cents. And every time, I'm like, every time this thing dips, I just need to long it and you make money. And I'm just an idiot, I guess, right? Boom. I'll use these, right? So that should have been a pretty clear long. That should have been a pretty clear long. Maybe you got in on this. I don't know. I doubt it. This one definitely, like, that's 1, 2, 3 without even cheating. Like these are just daily. What is this? These are just H4 order blocks. Buy H4 order block. Maybe you miss that one. H4 order block. Boom. Right. So guess what? If this thing dips to here, or I don't know if it will dip all the way here, but if it does, you look to long this thing on either of those two SR flips, potentially. Maybe actually. Let's see if there's a nice clean one. None of these are that clean. Yeah. Like this. If it comes down to there, I'm not missing it this time. But, pay attention to these alts on the weekend, because generally what we see during the week is sideways, kind of choppy bullshit, and then they seem to get a leg up. Every fucking weekend it seems to happen, right? Here's the week, sideways, choppy bullshit, weekend comes, expansion. So, bullish on ETH. Hopefully that makes sense. Nothing but the chart for my reasoning. Hoping this just breaks up and we don't get cucked by a triple top. If we get a triple top, again, I'm looking to long the dip on this thing. If for some reason this thing breaks down and we get a chance to long it lower, right? I'm taking that opportunity to long it, sub 1200. I don't know if we'll get it, but if we do, I'm absolutely longing the fuck out of it. If you want to wait for confirmation, to me, confirmation has to be above probably here, to be honest with you. And I know it's like, oh, you're longing the breakout, but like it is what it is, right? Like if this is going to break up here, okay, it will give you some sort of structure above here to get long, and that's what you want to wait for, right? Or you could argue that, this is your range, okay, and we're already in the process of breaking out of the range, and now, right, we need to see this level get reclaimed, right? So it's breaking, it's pushing up, right? Get above here, give me some sort of structure, and then boom, that's when you could step in on like some sort of breakout long. And I know this is going to be late, but when this thing breaks out, because FUSD is bullish, or FBTC is bullish, right, we're going to have a large expansion move. So if you miss the start, it's okay. But yeah, so just wanted to do this quickie update here. I'll be back tomorrow with my regularly scheduled stream at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Talk to you guys then.